Chapter 6. The Battle with Denry's Mother. Late one winter's evening, a few years later, Denry opened the door of his mother's house in Broome Street. "Is that you, Denry?" came a tired voice. "Yes," he said, walking into the living room. His mother was sitting very near the fire, which was burning brightly. She looked cold and ill. "You must see a doctor, Mother." "A doctor? What for? I've just got a bit of a cold, that's all." "You've been ill a lot this winter," said Denry. "It's this awful old house we live in." "It's a very good house. It was good enough for your father, and it's good enough for me." "Mother, I'm earning £2,000 a year, and here we are, living in an old house at a rent of 23 pence a week." Actually, Denry was making nearly 4,000 a year, but he was afraid to tell his mother that. These days, he was a great man in the Five Towns, but his greatness was nothing in Broome Street. "You can go and live in a fine, grand house if you like, Denry," said his mother, "but I'm staying here." And so the battle went on. Denry wanted to move, but his mother refused to leave Broome Street. And Denry wouldn't move to a new house without her. One morning, a few weeks later, there was a letter from Mrs. Machin from the man who owned her house. He had sold the house, he wrote, to a man in London, a Mr. Wilbraham. From next month, Mrs. Machin must pay her rent to him. The next day, Denry came home with some news. "I've met Mr. Wilbraham, the man who bought our house. He came down from London. He wants me to collect the rents for him." "What did you tell him?" I said yes. Why not? It's easier for you. And he's an interesting man. He's building a new house up at Bleakridge. It's going to be a really modern house. A house where you can live comfortably without servants. "He's certainly a sensible man," answered Mrs. Machin. She hated servants, and said so about once a week. The house at Bleakridge started to grow. Mr. Wilbraham stayed in London. The builder was Mr. Cottrell. Denry had been friendly with the family since Llandudno, but Denry also kept an eye on things. The house was nearly finished when Mrs. Machin got a second letter from Mr. Wilbraham. "He says we have to leave," she cried. "He wants us out immediately. Oh, Denry, what shall we do?" "We'll go and see him," said Denry. "He's coming to his new house tonight." So they put on their best clothes and went up to Bleakridge. Half an hour later, they were standing outside Mr. Wilbraham's house. Denry rang the bell, and they waited. "Dirty doorstep," said Mrs. Machin, looking down at it. In Broome Street, it was important to have a clean doorstep, even if your rent was only 23 pence a week. "Easy to clean," said Denry. "Watch." He turned a tap next to the doorstep, and water ran over the step, washing it. "Is that hot water?" asked Mrs. Machin. "Of course," said Denry. He could see his mother liked the tap. "Wilbraham's fixed a lot of things like that in his house." He rang again, but there was no answer. "Perhaps his train's late. I've got a key. We'll go in and wait for him." He opened the door and turned on the electric light. Mrs. Machin had never seen electric light before. She thought it was wonderful. "It's very warm in here," she said. "Central heating," said Denry. "No fires to light, no wood to carry, no fireplaces to clean." The doorbell rang. "There he is," said Denry, moving to the door. 3 people stood on the washed doorstep. Mr. and Mrs. Cottrell and Nellie. Mr. Wilbraham had invited them, said Mr. Cottrell. "Oh, come in, said Denry. "He's not here. Perhaps he's missed his train. But the house is all ready for him. Come on, I'll show you round." He and Nellie ran upstairs, and the others followed. Upstairs, the house was as wonderful as downstairs. So easy to clean. No work at all. "Why," said Mrs. Cottrell, "I could live here without any servants and still have it clean and tidy by 10 o'clock in the morning." Mrs. Machin agreed. Downstairs, they found a fine cold supper ready to eat. "Come on," said Denry. "Let's eat. I'm sure he'd like us to." Mrs. Machin didn't want to. "It's very strange that he isn't here," she said. "He's a strange man," said Denry. "I think he's a little mad." "I don't think he can be mad," said Mrs. Machin. "The house is much too sensible for a madman." Finally, they all sat down to supper, and, after some food and 3 bottles of wine, they started to enjoy themselves. Soon, Denry was searching the house for a 4th bottle of wine. He found one, opened it, drank some, and, with a cry, dropped the glass on the floor, where it broke. It was not wine. It was a bottle of cleaning liquid, and the word poison was written on it in large letters. Nellie didn't seem to realise how serious it was, and began to laugh. Mrs. Machin took Denry's arm. "Come out to the kitchen," she said. "You must have some salt water to make you sick." "Oh, no," said Denry. "I'll be all right." But his mother wouldn't listen to him and pulled him out of the room. Nellie had her hand over her mouth, trying very hard not to laugh, but not succeeding. 10 minutes later, they returned. Denry looked very white and very cross. "There's no danger now," said Mrs. Machin. So the party came to an end. The Cottrells stood up to leave and asked Denry how he was feeling. "I feel much too ill to walk home," he said. "I'll sleep here. The bedrooms are all ready. My mother can stay too." The Cottrells left and Denry went to bed. After an hour, his mother went to bed too, but she slept very badly. The next morning, she was up before Denry and went out. Half an hour later, she was back, waking Denry up. "Oh, Denry, I've just been back home. They're pulling the house down. The roof's gone, and the furniture." Denry sat up. "I'll tell you something now," he said. "Wilbraham's dead."
"Dead?"
"Dead. Well, he was never really alive, of course." And Mrs. Machin understood. This was all Denry's plan to move her out of Broom Street and up to Bleakridge. Soon all Bursley knew that Denry had won the battle with his mother. And they loved it. But at least Mrs. Machin had won with the salt water.